Hi, my name's Oren Thomas.
And I'm Troy Hunt.
And I'm Lars Clint.
And we're just here talking. We are all people that go and speak at conferences all around the world, and one of the things that we do have in common is we always use Lenovo laptops when we're travelling and speaking.
That's true.
So we've all got a stash of different things. Some of us have a bigger stash than others. Why do you have three machines? What do you use?
So I have the Yoga 900, which is my main dev machine because it's got the most RAM, it's got the biggest processor, and it's the most powerful of the ones I've got. I've got a tablet, which is actually kind of cool. Most people have never actually seen these, but it's got a full ThinkPad keyboard. I use this a lot on the couch, essentially, wherever that couch may be. Because it's very portable. And then I have the yoga book, which I use a lot for note taking. And the battery life on this is full day battery, which is why I kind of use that when I'm out and about.
What do you got?
Okay, so I've got an X1 here. I've got an X1 Yoga. So this one works as a full tablet, and one of the nice things about this one also is that not only has it got a touch screen, it's got a pen that actually goes into the side there. And I find this very useful when I'm traveling because it's a light, good laptop for sitting in the cabin of an aircraft and using it on a long flight, simply because one of the tricks that you know if you fly a lot is that a laptop cannot have more than a 65 watt draw on the power. If it has more than a 65 watt draw, it's actually going to not charge off the seat power. So
this just turned into a nerd show.
Sorry, but it's important because I don't sleep on aeroplanes and I like to play games. So if I'm going to the US, this is a great laptop to use because I can play games on this and run the power of it. I've also got a very big laptop that's very beefy and I run huge labs on it, a P50. The problem with that is it draws so much power that I can't run it off the seat power in an aircraft.
I did not know that.
That is actually a perfect segue to why I have two machines here. So I have got the big beefy thing that you've got as well, which is the P50. And I've got the 900, which is the slim job like that. So one of the reasons I've got the two machines, other than just redundancy when I travel, is that I can't charge that on the plane. So I'll do a bunch of work on this one, and then I'll do a bunch of stuff on this one as well, which can charge. And the reason I don't do everything on this is because I do a lot of things like processing of large amounts of data, which I need a Xeon processor and 64 gigabytes need. It's not, look, everything goes faster with more power, right?
I was just about to say you need it for speed, essentially, right?
Right, so it makes a big difference, and I max out every single last byte of RAM on this very, very regularly because I'm running massive queries against huge data sets.
Yeah, whereas when I have exactly the same laptop, but I use it in a very different way. I actually run huge virtual machine labs because the sort of stuff I present overseas is big virtual machine labs where there's multiple, there might be 20 servers that I'm running, and I can run it off one of those and go and present it in front of a huge audience simply because it works and it's reliable. And that's one of the reasons I choose this particular brand, is that the stuff, you can drop it and you're not sitting there worrying about if it's going to be, if it's still going to work. I've been in the case where I've been in an airport security line and my laptop's, fallen off the conveyor onto the floor, picked it up and it's good. I mean, it's one of the reasons I've been always very happy with it because they test these things to destruction.
The virtualization is interesting. So on the big chunky machine I've got here, when I was talking to people about it and saying I've got this machine and it's it's a P50 and a Xeon and all this sort of stuff, they'd go, well, why don't you just do everything in the cloud? Like just put it all in the cloud, use virtual machines in the cloud. One of the times I use this a lot is when I'm on an aeroplane. Or recently I was doing a lot of traveling by car. I was passengering, someone else was driving obviously, and I was using the machine to do large amounts of data crunching. I had zero connectivity.
That's right, exactly.
But I could take everything away with this. And it has got a very fast NVMe drive in it, and then it's got a couple of other drives with larger capacities. It's got a 1 terabyte spinning RUSC drive in it that I can actually do large machines on and other things that don't need as fast a disk, but I can sort of juggle it all around and go, well, where do I need capacity, where do I need speed? Which I can't do on this, but then if I go away and I go for a long walk or something like that, I can chuck that in the backpack and I just don't even notice it.
That's why I have that, essentially, because I don't deal with large data sets. I have everything in the cloud, so a lot of my clients, everything is virtual. And I can connect from any of these devices. It doesn't have to be this massive, powerful device, but it's lightweight, right? So
I think the thing with all these is that everything's sort of got their own strengths. One of the other things I do with this one is this sort of becomes like my movie machine, right? So I'll travel and I'll have movies on there, And it's just that much larger than something like
Correct.
the
Yep.
iPad,
I do the same with mine.
where this actually makes sense. And I do that or I do that.
Yeah.
And in fact, what I often do a lot is when I'm presenting and I'm on a stage, I'll present from this machine because this is most of my sort of everyday stuff.
Yeah.
And then I'll sit that machine over there, and this will have notes and other things like that on it. And because it's touchscreen, I can be walking around and talking and just swiping and moving, you know, to see what's coming next.
One of the things, of course, you know, because you've been watching my tech tips, is that you can actually connect to that as a wireless display adapter, and then use that as a second screen for this as well.
Yes, I knew that. That is a really good idea. I should do that.
So the reason,
Tech tips.
well, yeah, but the reason I like this particular one is I do a lot of writing. I'm a writer by trade, and the keyboard on this one is absolutely fantastic. I find the keyboard on some other laptops, if you use it for a lot and you write a lot, you don't necessarily get that tactility. And again, this is the same with the X1 tablet. It's got that ThinkPad keyboard.
It's
There's
got a
one thing
brilliant
about
keyboard.
ThinkPads is that they've got beautiful keyboards.
Yeah.
The P50's got a beautiful keyboard as well.
So,
But finding a laptop that's right for you is a challenge. We're certainly looking at very different use case scenarios, and we need different laptops for different things. But most people only own one laptop, and you've got to spend a lot of time figuring what laptop you want. You've got to work out your balance on weight, cost, and processor capacity. You might not need a whole lot of processor, and that might be something like a Yoga Book's perfect for you. Or you might need an X1 Carbon simply because you do need processor capacity, but you also need that light frame.
Well, it depends on what you're doing. If you travel a lot, you want something you can drop, as you said. If you sit at home all the time, well, I've used this primarily at home, which is why I don't need to have the sturdiness of the ThinkPad necessarily, right? So different courses for different horses, or whatever it is.
what I like with all of these now is that all of these modern laptops have got so much power and capacity, certainly compared to just a few years ago. By the time you go home and put it on a dock and use it as a normal PC, anyway, it's you just can't tell the difference.
No,
to
I
what
have
it used to
3
be like.
screens attached to mine.
In fact, I still have a desktop at home that I built some years ago, and I use it because it's got 4 screens around there like that. But this machine now, the P50's got so much more power than what my desktop has.
Yep.
That whenever I go to do anything data intensive wise, so when I'm processing large files or doing large queries in SQL Server, I actually leave my desktop, the big tower and the big case and all the screens, and I go and I sit down with my laptop.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just a funny sign of the times.